Hello, the people of Terra. Today I will be drawing and storytelling on the story of Twin Crowns, a what if story where instead of the brother crowning the sister, they both crown each other. This is the story where instead of Teresa becoming the sole king of Sarkas, Teresis and Teresa is both chosen by the crown, a first in the history of Sarkas. Without further ado, let's start in the early days, where the kings were ambushed by assassins in Rimbiliton, in which they got separated. During that time, Teresa found Amia, a small courteous girl with a giant crystal rock on her right shoulder, a sole survivor of a convict crash. Teresa carried the countess as she could not walk and had a massive fever from Oripati. They were crossing the waste, being chased relentlessly by assassins, and Amiya fever doesn't subside makes it the more challenging. But she keeps walking in hope of help. Eventually though, Teresa succumbed to her fatigues and her wounds. She collapsed, unable to find any help. But fortunately, soon after, Teresis and Babel found her, cradling a small courteous girl. Eventually, they were both treated to full by the Babel's medical team. But even with all their efforts, Amia will forever have a crystal companion on her shoulder. The kings then decided to adopt Amia. They took care of Amia in their free time, and during one of those times, Teresis asked Amia what her wishes is. I wish to become someone who could defeat Oripati. Teresis laughed at Amia's dreams, saying it was a childish dream, as Babel was erected from blood, a fundamental difference against Amia's dreams. In adulthood, Amia eventually chose to leave and creates her own medical team that specializes in rescue operations. After a couple of decades, the kings found a medical box, a white robe, all the genome particles in the area, and an ID card that belonged to Amia. Even though she faced the cruelty of the world, she still chose her own beliefs. The king knew that sooner or later this will happen, but it still doesn't make it easier. I wonder, did Teresis regret what he said to her that day? Either way, it was a short encounter, yet it was still a precious one. These belongings were then buried in a garden in the center of Castel. A century after the twin kings were coronated, a massive catastrophe struck the palace of Vesalic in Londinium. The Sarkas decided to help those who were stuck by the tragedy and gave them shelter in Castel, marking the first step towards reconciliation. But they still have a long way to go before a utopia can be created. After 2 centuries, since their coronation as the kings, a new epoch came, ushering in a time of peace where merchants come and go. The children of soil and stone build towering buildings, Banshee guiding visitors, Wendigos conducting PE in a nearby school. Near the school campus, an artificial river made, leading to the ruins of the soul furnace, where no revenants were burning, only water flowing throughout the city. Suddenly, an unknown group led by a Jarl appeared in the throne room, where the kings reside. The royal guards subject the group to a trial, where Civila Eterna classified them as an anomaly, something that doesn't belong here. But they also doesn't bear any ill will. The twin king then dismissed the guards. They then take the Jarl group onto a tour of the Utopia Castle. They share a story of their world, but eventually the Jarl had to go, even though she wanted to stay longer. As the child fell unconscious, the king rushes to the child, where she was suddenly brought up by an invisible force. The child's stuff starts to flicker, and on top of the child, a white figure of a countess, familiar yet unfamiliar, was made. There, she reaches out her hand, giving her crown as the kings respond in kind, sharing each other's stories through the Civila Eterna. Soon after, the white countess and the child disappeared, leaving only the stories of the other world behind. Using the information they gained from Amiya, the other king of Sarkas, Thrasis went to a cell. Well, Kal'Sid was in prison, along with Monster. Long time no see, Kal'Sid. She didn't reply. Or shall I call you Amatan? With a surprised look on her face, Kal'Sid looked at the king of Sarkas, wondering why he knew her name. Soon after, Teresa came. Using the power of the crown, they take a look at Kal'Sid's mind to search for the hooded figure from the other Amiya memories, in hopes of finding the one who can cure Oripati. After following the memories they found within Kal'Sid, they found the Oracle in a wrecked ship. There, a humanoid creature is in deep slumber. Teresa offers her hands, accepted by the other party. She then shares information about the land through the crown to the creature, hoping that it can solve the disease that has ravaged this land. But they were silent for a long time until they asked, "Where is Priestess?" Silence fills the room once more as no one could answer their question. Let's fast forward to the future a bit, where the Doctor decided to help the people of Terra, advancing their technology at a fast pace, eventually leading them to try destroying the starport, the ceiling that hangs above their head, the thing that keeps them safe, yet also the thing that's stopping their advancement. But before that could happen, a black halo covered the sun, slowly dripping a black ink. Amiya, he looked the same as the other Amiyas they saw in the past, and yet, instead of warmth, she fills the room with dread and fear. She says that they will be doomed if they destroy the starport, but even so, Thrasis believed that what lies beyond is their future. Both of the king clash, but ultimately, Thrasis was absorbed by her darkness. Eventually, Amiya meets the Doctor, where she asks why the Doctor chose to help the civilization. You are certain that they are working towards their doom? I understand. I felt much the same when I first saw this civilization. Short-sighted, feeble, backwards. Even so, the Doctor believes they have the right to live, as they also remind themselves of their own former colleagues. But the Doctor also understands Amiya's decision and allows themselves to be sealed by her. She then finally goes to Teresa, where she also has full control of Originum, albeit wild and unruly. It was given by the Doctor when they were having a conversation with Amiya. Eventually, they fight, not through hate, but love and kindness. Teresa sealed them both. Your efforts are futile, Teresa. You cannot imprison me. The Originium that the Doctor shared with you is too wild, too unruly. You cannot control it. You do not know what you are doing. Someday, the cocoon will devour your Originium, and I will break free. Teresa then asked about Amiya's story. Of all the stories about Teresa, mine was happy enough. I walked together with Thrasis. War did not consume Terra. We achieved true peace, and we even saw a ray of light with the Doctor's help. But you are not part of that story. Let's talk about your story. Well, the people of Tela, that's the end of Twin Crowns. A what if story where both Thrasis and Teresa were the king of Sarkas. But what do you think? If what Amiya said was true, where if they destroy the starport, Terra will be doomed, do you think she has the right to preserve a decaying world? I suppose it's up to you what the answer is. Oh, and also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and goodbye.